Spring training baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. And this afternoon, blue skies, but green everywhere else on this St. Patrick's Day, coming your way from the winter home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bradenton, Florida. And it is a spectacular day for baseball as the Pirates welcome in the New York Yankees. Grapefruit League action continues, and everybody mostly wearing green. And we do have a lucky day today because we have such great weather. The Pirates and the Yankees ready to play ball. Greg Brown along with John Wehner. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. John O. Wehner, I guess I can call you. And our first opportunity to see David Freese in the lineup.
Boy, what a great addition. I think David Freese fits perfectly in this Pirates clubhouse on this team. I mean, obviously he's going to fill a gap with Jung-Ho Kang being out, but he's also going to be that veteran presence. He's been there. He's done that. He's had success at the big league level in the postseason. He could fill in at first base as well. There you see his numbers, the OPS plus over 100 in all 7 of his big league seasons. Not a very experienced pinch hitter, but certainly an experienced player that brings a pretty good resume with him.
He's not quite ready to play third base, so we're going to ease him into the starting lineup. He'll DH today. Sean Rodriguez will play some third base. So we're a little over halfway through spring training 2016 and getting ready to play baseball today. Jeff Locke will be on the hill for the Pittsburgh Pirates for the first time ever. The Buccos will be wearing the green uniform tops, appropriate on this St. Patrick's Day where everybody is Irish. The Bucks and the Yankees are coming up next. Ready to play ball. Moments ago, Josh Harrison, the Pirates second baseman, signing autographs along the box seats, and new Bucco David Freese. That signing assured us that Josh Harrison would start the year as the Pirates second baseman. That was a question mark coming into spring training with Jung-Ho Kang unable to go at the start. So the Pirates considered moving Harrison to third base, but Jay Hay will stay at second. John Jaso getting the start over at first. And we'll take a look at the New York Yankees starting lineup. Joe Girardi, the skipper. Starlin Castro, the former Cub, will lead off. Carlos Beltran will follow. Then it's Brian McCann and Chase Headley. Dustin Ackley will play first base. Robert Refsnyder is the second baseman today for the Yankees, with veteran Chris Denorfia in left. Carlos Corporan is the designated hitter, and Slade Heathcott will be in center field.
Jeff Locke, his UPMC numbers from a year ago, 8-11, a 4.49 ERA. And Jeff going to try to improve on those numbers this year. And we've had stretches where Jeff Locke has been really, really good. And then at times, a game or two will get away from him. And so he's been working on, as we've talked about already this spring, working on some changes to his windup, his delivery. He has shortened it up. And the results have been pretty good so far this spring.
Here's the Pirates defensively. It's Andrew McCutchen in center field. Starling Marte in left. Michael Morse in right field. Sean Rodriguez will play third with John Jaso. You saw him at first. Jay Hay at second. Jordy Mercer, his double play partner, and Chris Stewart will catch Jeff Locke. Andrew McCutchen, a couple of homers. Back-to-back starts for him, including a bomb down in Sarasota yesterday. First time the Pirates have sported the green jersey tops. They've worn green caps for years on St. Patrick's Day. Cool looking jersey tops today, and Starlin Castro takes a strike. We're underway at McKechnie Field in Bradenton. 80 degrees on March the 17th on the Sun Coast. Castro hitting .429 this spring. Figures to play second base this year. The longtime Cub, 25 years old. Had 11 homers, drove in 68 with the Cubbies last year.
He finished off strong last year, and I think him being on the right side of the infield will probably help him, Castro. Too many mental lapses defensively on the left side at shortstop.
So Jeff Locke trying to put him away to start this ball game. Locke's fourth appearance of the spring. And in case you missed that last telecast, John and Joe were showing you that new windup. No longer do you see that kind of Cueto type twist where he would turn his back toward home plate, instead, for the most part, facing forward, hoping that will help improve the command, which has been an issue at times for Locke over the years. And into right, Michael Morse. And one down.
The new windup, it makes sense, I think, in terms of just, I think he can keep his eyes on the target longer. He doesn't close that front shoulder. That right shoulder can stay a little more squared up. So I think, as he comes to the plate, I think he'll be more consistent with the release point.
Carlos Beltran, veteran switch hitter, batting right-handed. Now 38 years old. 19 homers last year with the Yankees. And line foul.
They're not getting any younger, the Yankees.
They're not. And I think with that, probably no coincidence that the injury bug bites them more often than not. Beltran, an injury-plagued, well, at times career a couple years ago, missed almost the entire season, but did bounce back with the .276 season, 19 homers, 67 RBIs. Last night they played a game, and it was the first time that Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner were in the lineup together, the 1-2 punch. And there's a drive to left. Over is Marte, and nicely done. To make the catch, stay with it.
Well, that wasn't as easy as Starling made it look. As you see down here in spring training, and sometimes the outfield could be an adventure with the high sky, the sun, the wind, and a lot of times a lot of outfielders will get near this fence and then you'll see them jump too soon, or they don't find the fence and might give up on it a little bit. You see the alligator arm sometimes. We've seen that a few times this spring where guys, didn't want to get extended. Ball goes off the end of the glove.
Left on left, Brian McCann, the veteran catcher. 26 homers, 94 ribbies last year for the former Atlanta Brave. Roller, second baseman will have all day. That's The third baseman Rodriguez swung over to play second in front of Jay Hay, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Half of inning number 1 here in Florida, and John Jaso is going to lead off again. Clint Hurdle has tried this a couple of times. Not the first time in Jaso's career he has led off. High on base percentage guy. We'll check out the rest of the Pirates starting lineup, brought to you by RAV4. Andrew McCutchen, David Freese to follow, little DH. Starling Marte hits cleanup, then it's Josh Harrison, Michael Morse, Jordy Mercer, Sean Rodriguez at third, and Chris Stewart. Clint Hurdle says don't make too much of McCutchen hitting second, by the way. He's trying to get Freese some more at bats. So he has him hitting third. And Masahiro Tanaka at 3.51 ERA last year. One of the few times in recent memory, and Jaso has tried this several times this spring, trying to perfect that bunt when they give it to him with the shift on. 3 infielders on the right side.
And I think the best way, I think it's harder to do than it sounds, but the square early, just like a sacrifice, just bunt it firm down the line. You don't have to be in a big hurry to get out of the batter's box.
Jaso, 3 hits and 14 spring training at bats for the Bucks. A .214 average with 3 walks for John Jaso, a longtime Tampa Bay Ray, the former catcher. And learning the new position of first base. We will talk to one of the better defensive first basemen in Pirates history, Kevin Young, the former Bucco who's a coach with the Pirates. In the bottom of the 3rd inning. Talk to KY about the work he's done with John Jaso. 2-2.
Talked a lot about Jaso yesterday on the radio side. You know, the patient approach at the plate, and a guy that sees a lot of pitches, almost the left-handed version of Francisco Cervelli in terms of, you know, doesn't give away at bats, sees a lot of pitches, doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes. Don't see him chase too many pitches out of the strike zone.
Yep, wearing the green in this case. Also the I don't know if he's growing that and has dyed it. Two and two on Jaso. Big crowd on hand. Pirates Yankees. Bunch of standing room only tickets sold.
A little bobble.
Excellent work.
And a grab.
Jaso gets under this one. The center fielder is Ben Gamble. There was a switch at the last moment. Not sure what the deal is, but they made a late scratch. Slade Heathcott was initially in center field. And again, Andrew McCutchen moves up from the 3-hole to the 2 spot so that David Freese can get more at-bats. Don't know why Freese just didn't hit second, but he decided to move up Kutch and move up David Freese in the lineup. Andrew McCutchen sends one deep to left. Denorfia back, and Andrew McCutchen is red hot this spring. Homers again. 1-0.
This time on a fastball, a wall scraper compared to what we saw yesterday afternoon. Andrew McCutchen got a hanging breaking ball and hit it well over 400 feet. It may have been well over 450 feet. No telling. We couldn't tell where it came down. It was maybe the farthest ball I've ever seen him hit. But this time a fastball up, out over the plate. He had a pretty good idea. Again, didn't hit it as well as the one he hit yesterday, but strong enough to miss-hit it and have it go.
That's 3 homers in his last 4 games. Andrew McCutchen. And another look. Now David Freese. Just signed the last few days by the Bucks. 1-year, $3 million contract for the veteran. Former Cardinal, former World Series MVP.
Have you by chance looked next to us?
I just did.
These guys,
Masahiro Tanaka, when he pitches,
they look at the TV monitor in there, and they're staring at that monitor.
My gosh.
Like, breaking news. I mean, it's amazing how intently they're watching Tanaka and writing notes after each and every pitch. And, he's coming off he had a little elbow surgery this offseason. And he has quite the following.
There's that booth next door, jammed in there, watching the Japanese import, Masahiro Tanaka. And he gets David Freese.
And after he gave up the home run, they got on their phones right away.
Wow. Get that information back. Get it back to folks in Japan. Masahiro Tanaka, he's battled through elbow injuries.
It's rare nowadays to see that anybody having a surgery on their throwing arm. It was arthroscopic. Can you say that?
Arthroscopic?
Yeah. Surgery, but to have them back for the beginning of the next season, it seems rarer and rarer.
Well, not only that, just to remove a bone spur in his right arm. I mean, this is a guy who most people believe should have had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. But deciding through rest and rehab to forego that season-ending surgery, you really have to admire him as he faces Starling Marte. Joe Girardi's Yankees went 87-75 last year. Went to the postseason as a wild card team, lost to the Astros in the wild card game. Starling Marte, 8 for 19 for the first couple of weeks of spring training. Tanaka, part of a rotation that includes Michael Pineda, Nathan Eovaldi, CC Sabathia, and just about every one of these pitchers has some issue. John mentioned the offseason surgery for Tanaka. Sabathia has had knee issues. Marte plunked.
Something off speed got away. And Marte Seems to get hit fairly often.
So Tanaka now faces Josh Harrison. Jay hitting .250. Barrel Automotive League leaders, as John just said, he gets hit often. Pirates were second and third individually, Marte and Jung Ho Kang behind Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs.
Jay breaking out the St. Patty's Day shoes.
Feeling Irish today, everybody here in Bradenton. Nothing going. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. With 2 outs, a home run by Andrew McCutchen in the first.
And as you can see, Tanaka not a very hard thrower. Assortment of pitches, turns the ball over, adds and subtracts off the fastball.
12-7 last year, a 3.51 ERA, 154 innings for Tanaka.
Third start of the spring. That's first run he's allowed. The McCutchen homer.
Close at first. You've heard, no doubt, the Pirates are running a bunch this spring. Not a lot of success in that department. That's kind of a double-edged sword. You hear, well, we're going to be more aggressive on the bases. Yeah, they have attempted 21 stolen bases, but been caught 10 times. 2-2.
And I think another thing that goes along with it, there's nothing wrong with being aggressive and attempting, more and more stolen bases. But there have been times this spring where we see the mental mistake where, guys are getting picked off or guys are getting caught in between. A first and third move the other day had a guy thrown out.
Marte took off, but time was called. So no strikeout, no steal, no pitch. John Hirschbeck granted Josh Harrison timeout. Joe Girardi asking about it. Wow, so how about that? Spring training telling Girardi, I don't need you to bust my chops. And home plate umpire going to go over and ask him what he's saying. How about that? Something you don't see very often.
No.
Trying to be fair, he says. I don't need you to bust my chops. John Hirschbeck to Joe Girardi. And in the air to center. Gamble. For the final out, Andrew McCutchen with his 3rd homer in his last 4 games. A drive well over the left field fence. Feeling good on St. Patrick's Day in a 1-0 Pirates lead.
Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by McDonald's All-Day Breakfast. Breakfast has been liberated. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Andrew McCutchen hit the home run in the bottom of the first inning of Masahiro Tanaka. A 1-0 lead, and there's a line drive by Chase Headley, the veteran switch-hitting third baseman, right away against Jeff Locke, singles to left. Chase Headley last year hit .259 for the Yankees.
Jeff Locke trying to get it inside, left it down the middle. As we know, Jeff Locke likes to pound that fastball into righties. When he's most effective, he's hitting that inside corner.
Here's Dustin Ackley, the former Mariner, first-round pick. Picked up by the Yankees last summer.
And one thing I've noticed so far this spring with Jeff Locke is not only the new motion, but the way he's been pitching. You know, most of the time we saw, like I mentioned a moment ago, the fastball in the righties, fastball in the righties. He's thrown, you know, probably more fastballs away to righties so far this spring than in. Maybe something he's working on to work both sides of the plate to get him off, looking to pull that pitch. He's thrown quite a few change-ups as well. Another pitch he's working on. Before last year, I'd say Locke was mostly fastball, breaking ball. He started throwing a change-up a little bit more.
High fly ball toward the seats right side.
Not sure if that might have been a changeup, and I don't know if I ever recalled Jeff Locke throwing a changeup to a left-handed batter.
It's an interesting spring because it was assumed that the rotation was set when the Pirates reported earlier last month. Crushed foul, jumped on it. 89 miles per hour from Jeff Locke. But all along, the Pirates had the intention of having Juan Nicasio stretched out, calling him the sixth starter. And again, the assumption being that Nicasio would be a swing man when the season started. Initially, quietly being built up as a starter. And there's a base hit. And Dustin Ackley has himself a double, and Yankees in business here in the second. The reason we say that, John, because you were there, you and Joe, watching the performance of Juan Nicasio in Sarasota yesterday.
Nicasio was unhittable yesterday, and not, you couldn't even put the ball in play. As you can see so far this spring, 10 innings, no runs allowed, 16 strikeouts, just 3 walks. But yesterday, the fastball was up to 95. There was movement, there was sink. The breaking ball was swing and miss all day long. Even when he missed with it over the plate, they couldn't even foul it off. It was unbelievable. It was incredible.
So it's 4 innings, 1 hit, no walks, and 10 strikeouts.
10 punch-outs.
And according to Jason Stark of ESPN, this ball's going to be an out, but a run comes in, a ground out. Ref Snyder brings in Headley, and bonus, he moves Ackley to third in the process, so it's a 1-1 ball game. But that line was historic yesterday in that apparently they've checked all the research. Never in even a regular season major league game in history has a pitcher gone 4 innings with that line. 1 hit, no walks, 10 strikeouts.
Pretty remarkable.
So it's an intriguing option, isn't it, for Clint Hurdle?
Yes. And again, it'll get talked about more and more, I think, as we head towards opening day, if he continues to pitch like this. Although I don't foresee any changes being made. Unless, of course, an injury or a setback that might keep one of the projected 5 from opening the season in the rotation.
Infield in. Strike is called. Stewart looked like he wanted to gun it down there to Sean Rodriguez.
But with the way he pitched yesterday, now we've had that 6th man, whether it be Vance Worley or otherwise, where they go to the bullpen and they're the long man. They're only used if you're late in the game in extra innings, or if a starter has to come out earlier. Nicasio, with his stuff, I can't see him, if he's not in the rotation, just being a long man.
Right.
This guy is going to be valuable.
Too valuable to be just a long man.
He could pitch in any situation.
Yeah, with that stuff yesterday, I mean, the first thing you think about, well, wow, if he could do that for 4 innings and keep up that velocity, why in the world would you waste him and not have him in the rotation?
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have him in the rotation, and that appears to be the situation that they were talking about, again, a kind of a quote long man, but that stuff yesterday was so lights out. That's a setup guy at the least.
Sure. And that may make the decision a little tougher for the Pirates in terms of, who they go with their last guy in the bullpen. As Locke with a real nice changeup in a big situation, that runner in third, infield in. Changeup in a great location. Down and away. And again, sets it up with that fastball in and then pulls the string on the ball down the way. But when you think of that last guy and you hear, oh, can they only go in with just Tony Watson, the only left-hander, who really doesn't count as a lefty because he's pitches the 8th inning. Right. So it doesn't matter if he was right or left. And so if you feel that we don't have a lefty that maybe fits in the bullpen, Nicasio is the guy you bring in that big situation against the lefty, perhaps, with that nasty stuff. I mean, because you often wonder, oh, you're in the 6th inning and there's 2 on and 2 out, and there's a middle lineup lefty in there. Well, you'd like to have a left-handed reliever to face that guy at that point. Well, that could be Nicasio. So
Carlos Corporon, a veteran backstop, but DHing this afternoon. Switch hitter, former Astro, Alex Rodriguez did not make the trip over from Tampa today. He'll be the DH most nights for the Yankees. Deep third, Rodriguez plays it on that last hop and guns it to Jaso to retire the side. A single, a double, and a run in against Locke. It's 1-1. Inside Pirates Baseball Spring Mic'd Up Show. You can see it again tonight. Go inside the drills, dig deep into this year's team as 6 Pirates get wired up for workouts. Inside Pirates Baseball Spring Mic Up 2016, tonight at 6 on Root Sports. Here on this St. Patrick's Day, we're bringing you one of a dozen telecasts. We've already had a handful. And with 2 weeks to go, we'll bring you several more as the Pirates try and figure out what that 25-man roster will look like. Here, Michael Morse figures to be a platoon at the beginning of the year with John Jaso at first. He's in right field today. Big right-handed hitter, Michael Morse. Hitting .316. Morse played in 45 games with the Pirates last year. .275 with a home run. Tanaka just throws everything up there. Any pitch you can possibly think of. Doesn't matter the count.
Yeah, really, that looked like an off-speed, maybe a splitter change that he left up, middle, in. And it's kind of because he will throw any pitch in any count. The guy you just kind of want to see up in the zone. You think he'd be much easier to hit if he left the ball elevated.
Deep short. Starlin Castro. Look out, first row. Michael Morse reaches first.
It had to go away. It's planted, got rid of it quickly, just airmailed it. That's why you see a lot of guys with that one hop throw across the infield. You have a chance if it's in the dirt as opposed to in the stands.
Here's Jordy Mercer. Mercer hitting .250 in Grapefruit League play. Sean Rodriguez is on deck. One ball, one strike. Yes. On St. Patrick's Day. A pint of Guinness, please. You know how you say that in Gaelic? Pianta Guinness le duel. Looks like that's what that gentleman was saying.
Say that again.
I can't say it again. Not on camera. Come on. I have the whole list for you at some point. Pianta Guinness le duel. A pint of Guinness, please.
Nice.
And La Fela Padreg. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
I just assumed you knew Gaelic.
Oh,
You obviously have been to Ireland.
Eire is Ireland forever. And translated, we have Americanized it to Aaron Gobra. Yes, I have been to the motherland. By the way, Michael Collins, good Irishman, who is the public address announcer here, at the start of the game announced that it was a perfect 77 degrees here in Bradenton, and in Dublin it's 46 degrees, but not raining.
Nice. Did he mention the weather in Carrick?
No, but every day that you work, he comes into the booth. If you're not here, he says, "Where's Carrick?" Mike Collins, the public address announcer here for the second year at McKechnie, and also longtime voice of the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame football.
And Carrick native.
Mm-hmm. I know that a great proud Irish woman, Sally O'Leary, is watching us, a longtime member of the Pirates front office. Olin DePolo, maybe a little Irish today. By the way, happy birthday to Big O. Olin DePolo, 75 years old, back on March the 9th. And Florence Eichler turns 90 in a couple of days. Sunday to be exact. And Florence, her favorite player is Gregory Polanco, and her favorite saying is "Let's party." That's appropriate today. Steve Blass asked us to pass along that happy birthday wish to Florence. And to right field.
Boy, that
nice
was
piece of hitting there.
Perfectly executed.
Jordy Mercer. Base hit brings up Sean Rodriguez. Hashtag Bucks Booth if you have a tweet. And a guy here coming to the plate, Sean Rodriguez, who has 4 children and born and raised in Miami. His family in the Miami area, and we'll see them often off the field, but you don't see a lot of what the people in Chicago saw for a couple years. The sports judge, with all the discussion around MLB with Adam LaRoche. And here runners at first and second, see what Rodriguez does. The infield thinking maybe bunt. First baseman is in. Strike one. What do you think about Adam LaRoche, who basically quit the White Sox yesterday? The veteran, the former Pirate, walked away from $13 million. His 15-year-old son, Drake, was around in Arizona and Chicago almost every day in the clubhouse, to the point where I guess John even had his own locker, Drake LaRoche.
Yeah, this spring. I heard it was the same back when he was with the Nats, that he was there and taking part in stretching, and they, in the cage, and everywhere Adam went, pretty much his boy went. And you see that more and more, I think, with kids in the clubhouse. I don't know to that degree.
High fly ball to center.
And I mean, I do think you have to draw a line as to, if you're going to allow family or your kids in the clubhouse, how much access are they allowed? I mean,
well, not only that, as Kenny Williams pointed out, if you allow a guy like Adam LaRoche to do it, the kid has his own locker and is around every single day. How can you turn down another player that wants to do the same thing?
Exactly. And most cases you're not going to have many teenage kids. The players just aren't that old anymore. Right. It's getting younger and younger.
True.
But I mean, that's where the game has changed, I think, nowadays. I don't think when Adam's dad played in the major leagues, I doubt, or who knows? I don't know. Maybe Adam and Andy did hang out in the clubhouse with Dave LaRoche. I don't know. I don't recall.
I don't think so. I think Dave LaRoche's career was over when he was having those kids.
Yeah, probably so. But we've seen kids around, but I don't know to that extent to where. And it's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre story that you would walk. I don't know many guys that have walked away from money. I know Ryan Dempster did. Mm-hmm. He left money on the table and retired. Now LaRoche, I think there might be one other guy.
Jeff King walked away from the Royals, a lot of money. You almost have to admire both parties there. Sure. In LaRoche's defense, Adam LaRoche, he didn't make a big to-do about it. He just quietly kind of walked away.
Yeah.
Didn't make a stink about it. And Kenny Williams said, we were asking him to kind of meet us maybe halfway. Maybe a little bit less than 50% if the kid wanted to be around, but not every single day, 100% of the time. Going to go to second, and an out call there. Fans didn't like it. They thought Mercer beat the throw from Chase Headley.
As did I. I mean, everything was moving so slowly. I was surprised that Headley would even go to second base because of this. It certainly wasn't a double play ball, and you just want to make sure of one out, and decides to go that way, and they get the call, it appears.
Now, if you had replay, you could, during the regular season, you could call for it. The Pirates would have won that challenge. You could see on that replay that I guess Phil Cuzzy might have missed that one. John Jaso.
Yeah, that was pretty clear. Mercer's foot arriving before the ball.
Jaso flied out his first at bat against Tanaka.
Back-to-back slow curveballs to Jaso. He's able to lay off them both.
Ripped to right field. Let's get the lead back. John Jaso brings home Morse. That's what they're looking for from Jaso. You can see a couple of strong at-bats. Not going to hit a lot of home runs.
And that's a situation, too. Because he's able to lay off the breaking ball, gets into a good count, a 2-0 count, against a guy that doesn't throw all that hard in Tanaka. Now you're 2-0. You're looking for a pitch to drive through that right side, and he got it. A fastball middle in. Has that big hole to work with. Hits it hard and gives Andrew McCutchen a chance to bring home at least another.
McCutchen hit the home run in the first inning. His third in the last 4 games. Talking to Andrew before the game, really in good spirits, determined as ever. And he said, you know, it really feels good just to be out there playing a lot this spring. Remember last year, his at-bats didn't come until the very end of spring training. He finished with only 32 ABs. And that might have contributed to his slow start. This is his 21st at-bat already this spring. And his first at-bat, the home run.
And already playing in back-to-back games. Yesterday he was in Sarasota, and then today, and midway through the spring training schedule. Already, I think that seems earlier than in past years, where guys are getting a bunch of at-bats in back-to-back games.
Clint Hurdle discussing almost from the get-go, trying to get off to a better start out of the gate. And one of the things that would help, certainly, is this man here, Andrew McCutchen, who hit under 200 the month of April before really turning it on. Ended up hitting .292 for the year with 23 homers, drove in 96.
Think, hard to believe he didn't end up with 100 RBIs last year. He kind of slowed in September as far as cashing in on those opportunities.
Third base, Headley forces Jaso at second, but John Jaso's single makes it a 2-1 Pirates lead.
Hey, from all of us at Root Sports to all of you watching out there as we hit the third inning, I'm Robbie Mikowski. Well, we received some bad news last week with regard to prospect Austin Meadows fracturing his orbital bone. And the newest news in today's Allegheny Health Network injury update is that he is going to undergo surgery that is going to take place either later this week or early next week. Now, head athletic trainer Todd Tomczyk did say we will not have a timeline for Meadows' return, Greg and John, until after the surgery is performed. But certainly, this is a setback for one of the top Pirates prospects in the system, drafted in the first round 3 years ago, back in 2013.
Yeah, and hopefully that he'll kind of jump back into his baseball activities before too long, Robbie, much like A.J. Burnett, who suffered a similar injury his very first spring training with the Pirates. A.J. Burnett missed, I think, that first month and back into action in May.
Yeah, that stinks. Just playing catch.
Yeah. Ben Gamble facing Jeff Locke, who had a 1-2-3 first inning, gave up a single and a double leading off the second. Now 2-2. Locke went 8-11 last year in 30 starts, a 4.49 ERA. He has had some really strong first halves. And 3 years ago, in fact, went to the All-Star game with his real solid first half of the 2013 season. Trying to stay cool. St. Patrick's Day here at McKechnie. And after getting out in front of Ben Gamble, he walks him.
I tried to go inside there, just kept missing up.
Hey, check out the new Pirates Spring Pass for the low price of $99. Get access to 23 games in April and May, excluding opening day. Pick the games you want, and tickets are delivered directly to you on the MLB.com ballpark app. Visit pirates.com/springpass for details. The regular season fast approaching. That's line down the line and left, just foul. Off the bat of Starlin Castro.
He looks bigger in a Yankee uniform for some reason.
I thought the same thing. Now 25 years old.
Which is hard to believe, because to show you how quickly he got to the big leagues, perhaps rushed a bit.
So Ben Gamble leads off with a free pass in this third inning. Jeff Locke went 4 innings his last time 5 days ago against Detroit. 4 innings, 2 runs, a walk, struck out 5 batters. And a 1-1 count on Starlin Castro. Busy at the concession stands.
You know, typically you look around here, everything's black and gold, and then you'll have whatever the other team is.
Runner goes, and Mercer will get the sure out at first. Yeah, a lot of black and gold normal days, but today with the St. Patty's Day. And this wearing green uniforms was actually the brainchild of former Reds general manager Dick Wagner back in 1978. Then general manager Dick Wagner asked his equipment manager to hold on to these green uniforms, ship them down late, kept it quiet from the public. And lo and behold, the Reds emerged wearing green uniforms against these Yankees at Al Lopez Field in St. Petersburg. So we have seen the host teams do this on occasion, wear the green unis. First time ever for the Pirates. They have historically worn the green caps on St. Patrick's Day, but going the extra mile here today. 2-0 the count. With all this green today, you need to pull out the green weenie if you can find one. That the brainchild of the gunner, Bob Prince.
You have to have one of those, don't you?
Have one somewhere, I know, because I think several years ago the Pirates had a promotion. They gave the green weenie away. Roller to third. Sean Rodriguez throws out Carlos Beltran. 2 outs. Bottom of this inning, we'll talk to Kevin Young. Talk to him about the work he is doing with the first baseman, including John Jaso. And boy, has Jaso put in the hours over there. Not just in game, but for the mini camp he got into Bradenton, he stayed extra couple of weeks to work with Kevin Young. And when he's not starting, oftentimes he's on a side field working with Nick Leyva.
Boy, the first game of the spring, too, tested with a couple of difficult plays that, you know, I'm sure he's never even practiced. Since then, really haven't noticed much, but I don't know how much he's been tested either. There hasn't been a whole lot, for whatever reason, hit his way.
Catcher turned first baseman.
And the other thing, and you assume that at some point in time they may take him over to minor league camp and play a game in Pirate City to where they can do numerous scenarios with him, because he's just not going to see much here in spring training in terms of live bunt defense and priority plays and a lot of different things that you're just not going to see early in spring training. Maybe late, but maybe not at all.
Now we'll talk to Kevin Young about that and more. Nicely done by Locke to strike out McCann. 2-1 Bucks. Lead head to the bottom of the third inning here at McKechnie Field in Bradenton, Florida. As promised, we're joined by former Pirate and now an assistant to the general manager and coaching at first base, Kevin Young, as David Freese will step in for a second at bat. He is DHing today. The plan is for the new Pirate to start the year as the third baseman, much like that guy on your screen, Kevin Young did, coming up through the Pirate system as a third baseman and making the transition over to first. Kevin, what's it been like, first of all, working with John Jaso? We just talked a lot about him at the top of this inning.
It's been really good, Greg. Like I said, the work ethic is awesome. The ability to just go out and compete every single day and really learn the position more than anything. I think you see that in him. He's a professional, and he's looking forward to the task of doing it. And he's been showing progress throughout the course of the spring.
Kevin, it's interesting, since you've been back with the Pirates and the organization as an instructor, you're getting so many of these guys that have never played the position.
Yeah,
you bring in an outfielder in Josh Bell, Pedro from third to first, Jaso this year, David Freese now doesn't have a lot of experience over there. How much more difficult is it for a guy that hasn't played in the infield and has been so far away from the ball, especially a guy like Bell, to get the consistent reps and to get comfortable with the speed over there?
You know what, Rock, you hit it on the head. I mean, coming to the outfield from the outfield is a lot different. You got the depth perception that you work with, and then all the intricacies that go with the position, the footwork, the throws, throwing against the grain. All those things really come into play. But each one of the positions have something, a new element to it. From a catcher's perspective, getting used to turning your glove over and playing on the infield. From the third base perspective, really having to calm yourself down and knowing that I don't go after every ball that's in the gap, so anything hit over at second base, as second basemen to get it. Where at third base, as you know, we go get everything at third base. So every position has a different element when you transition into first base.
David Freese drops a single into right field. Your screen, we saw Josh Bell in the dugout, the minor leaguer, and there Kevin Young working with these first basemen. Kevin, are you able to tell kind of early on which position is easier to transition to? For example, with Jaso, the former catcher, can you see early on that it might take him a little longer because of the things you've already discussed, or naturally is a catching position one that can make an easier transition to first?
It'd be definitely third base would be the easier one of the three, just because you're used to playing in the infield, Greg. You're used to the balls being hit at you from short distances of 90 feet away. And at the end of the day, you're used to throwing the bases. So all those things that come into play make it a lot easier. Like I said, the number one thing that is the adjustment part is the ability going to your right as a first baseman when you're coming from a third base side, knowing which balls you lay off of and go straight to the bag. You always have somewhere to be. So allowing your second baseman to play his position, becomes a big part of it.
We just saw a video there of Kevin working with John Jaso earlier today, and here is the second baseman, Josh Harrison, at the plate.
And how important is it to keep reminding the second baseman to communicate and let your first baseman, these guys that aren't experienced, know where they are? I mean, did you talk to Josh and the second baseman to consistently, or the guys Josh Bell works with, to consistently, hey, this is where I'm at, I'm playing the pull or whatever?
Absolutely. Communication is the key, and actually every single pitch, it may change depending on the number of strikes you have, depending on where you're going to be. So they've been taught every time to take a peek over and look at them and see where the second baseman is on every pitch. So it's not for every at bat, it's for every pitch. So just to make sure, and you get in the habit of doing it. At the end of the day, the reps are going to be the key. The more reps we get, down here, the more helpful it'll be for John. Like I said, he's making a good adjustment.
Kevin, it is remarkable to think, and I don't know why, but it seemed like when we were kids, and it's a misperception, that players just, if you couldn't play a position, you went over to play first base and you'd be good over there. Nothing could be further from the truth, it seems. It's so busy over there. And I remember a little over a week ago, Jaso, just to tell you these little things, he sees a ball that he thinks is headed like towards second, doesn't realize that the pitcher, I think it was Nicasio, actually made the play, and the whole time he's searching for the bag, and he looks over to the second baseman, I think it might have been Josh Harrison, waiting for the throw. Instead, it's Nicasio who has the ball.
Right, yeah, and like I said, it's little elements like that, but they're teaching moments for us, from a staff, the ability to say, look, this is something that we get to work with. It's an experience. And so once again, when you're out here on the field, you get to see these things happen in front of you. We can't reenact these or practice these because you don't see them. So being out here on the field competing right now in spring training, we get to get a lot of those things out of our system, and we get to learn them and then move forward. And that's what I'm the most proud of, is that he's able to see a lot of different plays throughout spring training where that he has to make decisions on. Well,
Kevin, there are going to be plays that he's going to see during the regular season he's not going to see in spring training, particularly bunt plays, bunt defense, at full speed. Is there a point in time where you take him to minor league camp and you have some fast guys bunt the ball or do situations like that to where, he has to make decisions on the fly?
Absolutely. We actually do it right here. We go on the backfield. Some guys come over from Pirate City we'll use for base runners. We run through those scenarios because we know those are the ones that most likely he'll come up against consistently in the National League especially. So we work on those on the backfield here at McKechnie, and it really seems to help him a lot. So he's really progressed, like I said, in those areas. But at the end of the day, as well as I do, when the lights are on, like I said, that the real game speed, nothing can replace that. So, but he's shown he's been able to adapt to that, and so at least we know he's seen it. Now we just need to go out and execute it on game day.
Does you or I'm guessing in Jaso's case, is he wanting more action? He isn't getting a lot of action. I got to assume that he wants the ball hit to him.
He does. And, it's just like anything else. You'd like to see that big lefty come up with a man on first base and see that smash that's hit right at you, so you can just know you just know what it feels like to actually make that play. If not, you just keep wondering, what is it like? What does this feel like? But to have that experience, and before long, I'm sure in the next 2 weeks, we'll go through a lot of those scenarios that'll happen for him. It's just baseball. It happens that way. If not, it'll probably happen on opening day.
Count on it. Kevin, when Jaso's not playing in these games, more often than not, he is on like a side field or maybe over at Pirate City working with you or working with Nick Lave isn't. So even though we may not see him in a ball game, he's working diligently to try and figure this thing out.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the time we don't even get done with our work till about the fourth inning when we're on the backfield. So if he's not on the field here, he's on the field and back, and or he's over at Pirate City, maybe even playing a simulated game. So we always have something going on. Like I said, to give him the reps that are necessary, not only for him to be comfortable, but like I said, a lot of times to be comfortable with your playing partner who's next to you. So maybe it's Josh, maybe it's Sean Rodriguez. It's it's a number of guys that we're working with that they get that relationship and the communication that we referred to earlier.
Michael Morse at the plate. You saw Starling Marte steal second after Kristen Orphea made a real fine play on Josh Harrison's drive to left. Morris picked up an infield single leading off the second. Kevin Young, longtime Pirates first baseman, started his career at third and made that transition over to first. He is now an assistant to Neil Huntington, and he joins us. He's in the dugout talking about these first basemen that he's working with.
How awesome are the facilities here now, by the way?
It's unbelievable. I mean, our history here is so nice to just see. Like, you look out in the outfield now and see a packed house, and a sunshine day here in Florida, people coming out to watch baseball, and it's just amazing, the facility, how it's grown over the past 20 years. It's a great opportunity to just see baseball here in Bradenton during the spring training.
But not just that, but as far as for you and John Jaso and Nick Leva and the extra guys not having to go back to Pirate City for batting practice or extra work, to have the extra field behind you.
That is so true. I mean, like you said, the quality. I mean, you only have a certain amount of time to get the work in, as you know, during spring training. So anytime you can spend just walking over to the next field instead of hopping in your car and driving over to Pirate City, that's quality time and minutes that we could be working on extra reps and getting things accomplished. So again, it just goes with the championship preparation that we preach on. I'm just thankful to be able to have it now, and thank you to the organization providing it.
Kevin Young. Kevin, you were a fine third baseman in the Pirates minor leagues, and then you had to go from third to first. How long did it take you to feel comfortable? Because you became one of the better glove men in all of baseball.
I think the big thing I remember more than that was just the time that, guys like Tommy Sant put into me, the work that we were doing. We were making those trips back and forth to Pirate City, by the way. But just the quality work, that I got, the reps that I got, It was really special to be able to have that much attention, and so that's what I want to relay on to these guys here, the opportunity, just being able to sit and talk with Willie Stargell many times on defense and how to make an infield better at first base. That stuff gets filtered down through me, even though Willie's no longer here with us. I mean, it's still a filter that we can't keep within this organization and kind of keep pressing forward and showing the importance of playing this position and the intricacies of it.
That's a great point, that Kevin Young was around the great Willie Stargell, so he can talk to these younger players or even veterans like John Jaso about what Willie taught him over at first base. 0-2 on Mercer with 2 outs. And a strike 3 called, and we thank Kevin Young. Kevin, thanks a million. Great seeing you again. Thanks so much for the conversation.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, John. You guys keep doing it.
Thank you, KY.
Big time pro Kevin Young with us here at the bottom of the third. 2-1 Pirates.
With just one tank. And by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Let's go Bucks!
We're back here at McKechnie Field, the UPMC scoreboard, 2-1 Pirates. The great Mike Fetchko here, along with David Volk. David Volk, big Pirates fan from San Francisco, comes in during the regular season. We see him often, a fantasy camper who is here spending some time watching his Buccos. And Mike Fetchko, longtime Pittsburgher, who also has a home here nearby Lakewood Ranch, stopping in the booth to say hello. It's like old home week. We understand that Denny Nagel and Mike Bilecki are here.
Wow.
Former Pirates. Just talked to Kevin Young. Chase Headley flies out quickly. 1 down in the 4th. And we saw Mike Buchkowski, John Dandies, both from Rich Baseball Operations, the owners of the West Virginia Black Bears. They received their rings in a pregame ceremony today on the field. The New York Penn League champs.
How cool that would be. A lot of those guys first year in pro ball get a nice shiny new ring.
And having been employed by the Rich family, Bob and Mindy, really no surprise that they would purchase these really nice rings, not only for the players, but for Bob and Bill Nutting, Frank Coonley, Neil Huntington, Larry Broadway, Kyle Stark, and really just about anybody that set foot in Morgantown to help in the minor leagues.
Yeah, all the roving instructors. Blass was down there last year, so I'm sure he found a way to get one.
No question. I think he threw out the ceremonial first pitch opening day. And a base hit to right between Jaso and Harrison for Dustin Ackley, who's 2 for 2. Yeah, before the game, the pregame ceremony on the field took place. Bob Nutting congratulating Tom Prince, Larry Broadway, and others.
Gary Green was over there as well. Gary Green, Pittsburgh product.
Pregame ceremony today. The West Virginia Black Bears receiving their rings. Pirates are striving for that World Series ring this year. Rob Refsnyder at the plate. Bounced out his first time, and that brought in a run. He spent most of the year in the minor leagues with the Yankees at Scranton. At .271, the AAA affiliate of the Yankees. One ball and one strike. Those are near Doc Emmerich. Those seats.
Pretty good view.
Doc Emmerich is here again today after calling another game last night for NBC. Hit hard toward right center field. McCutchen watches this one. Driven out of here to right center. Rob Refsnyder homers. Gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead.
Not that big of a guy, Refsnyder. Off the bat, thought maybe a gapper, maybe McCutchen would be able to chase it down. Definitely didn't think it was going to end up out of the ballpark. And Andrew trying to trick us. Or maybe just trying to
have some fun.
Have some fun with a base runner there, too. Maybe trying to hold him up in case it did hit the wall, but that ball ends up getting out.
One ball and one strike. There is Doc. Mike Emmerich. I think he's seated next to Tom Rich.
Yep.
Longtime agent, Pittsburgh native. One and two on Denorfia. Fouled off by Denorfia, who struck out in the second. The veteran. He was with the Cubs last year. Sellout crowd enjoying a St. Paddy's Day afternoon. And again, Jeff Locke hoping to go 5 innings. And now at 55 pitches. 1 out into the 4th. Rodriguez to Jaso.
And that's a play. We actually saw a lot of these plays yesterday where there was these 2 hop bouncers to third base where it seemed like, if that first step wasn't made the right way, the guys got caught in between. A lot of balls kind of got bobbled and gone through for hits or whatever. Sean Rodriguez right there just makes it look so easy when he's over there or wherever he is. And then it's all the footwork. That's the second time today the footwork of Sean Rodriguez made a play look really easy. It's not a very easy play if you don't take an appropriate first step.
And a drive toward right field. Michael Morse makes the catch. Rob Refsnyder hit a 2-run homer against Jeff Locke. And the Yanks lead 3-2. K10K, presented by Allegheny Health Network and Highmark, set for Saturday, April 16th. Participants get a Tech t-shirt, ticket voucher good for a Pirates game, plus families can join in the fun with the Chick-fil-A 1 Mile Family Fun Run. Register today at pirates.com/home run. Three-2 ball game. Enjoying Pirates baseball. The old-time pillbox cap. Heading to the bottom of inning number 4, and here is Luis Severino. Had a strong season last year with the Yankees.
Pretty good numbers, 2.89 the ERA, almost a strikeout per innings pitched. 9 homers, though.
Sean Rodriguez flied out to center field against Masahiro Tanaka, who goes 3 innings. Gave up 5 hits.
We were kind of tipped off that he was finished last half inning. The booth next to us emptied out.
True. Sean Rodriguez down on strikes. Luis Severino, maybe the future ace. 2-month debut last year, 11 starts, 2.89 ERA. Chris Stewart bounced to third, his first at bat. Two-year postseason drought for the Yankees ended with a wild card run last year. Off Severino's glove. Shortstop Castro still able to get Chris Stewart.
Almost an infield base hit for Stu. About a foot or two. That throw beat Chris Stewart.
Third at bat for John Jaso. Ripped an RBI single his first time up. You see the shift. Flied out in the first. RBI single in the second for John Jaso. And again, tried to bunt, not successful. Keeps trying. "32 years old. John Jaso, 12th round pick of the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2003. Spent some time with the Mariners, a couple years with Oakland, and back with Tampa Bay last year where he hit .286. Concussion issues forced him from behind the plate. And rather than settle for a DH role this year, Clint Hurdle told us on a recent telecast he wanted to play baseball. He's a baseball player, so he joins the Pirates and will play first base as he singles for the second time.
Another good at bat, and I thought it was interesting that this hard-throwing righty threw one fastball to Jaso that hit triple digits, but only one fastball that at bat. And Jaso got a off-speed pitch. Anytime a guy throws that hard, anything off-speed, so much more difficult to hit, but pretty swing.
Well, McCutchen homered in the first. Bounced to third his last time up. And 96. John, is that the tough part about spring training? Timing when it comes to something like that?
In most cases, yeah, I think so. I mean, you can kind of gear up for fastballs. And, you know, especially a guy like Andrew McCutchen with that good bat speed to where he can, I think he can dial it up and turn anything around, especially if he sees it more than a couple of times. But, like, when you're seeing this kind of velocity for the first time and then the guy's throwing breaking balls and to be able to be on time for both, I mean, you can gear up for a fastball, but when the guy throws you a 91-mile-per-hour slider and you're able to adjust and, you know, that's hard to do any time, let alone in spring training.
And McCutchen lays off that slider.
And that's hard to do. I mean, like I said, you gear up for that plus velocity, and then, you know, he throws you a slider, and Andrew takes it like he knew it was coming. I mean, it's so quiet for him.
A sinking liner. Catch made by Ref Snyder. That completes the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Yankees. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by McDonald's, and the Yankees leading the Pirates this Grapefruit League ball game 3-2. We talked about the West Virginia Black Bears earlier, and that is the ring that was handed out to each player and many of the Pirates front office staff. Wyatt Torregas, the manager. Last year, the coaches Tom Filer and Jonathan Prieto, general manager Matthew Dreyer. Just a real class act. Bob and Mindy Rich giving rings out to even team president Frank Coonley. And a bunch of the minor league instructors who were so much a part of that. Jeff Locke out there for the fifth inning. Locke had a 1-2-3 first. But has had to pitch from the stretch each of the other innings. And Michael Morse, a nice play on a line drive.
You know, Jeff Locke, oftentimes when he's starting, might see one, perhaps two left-handed batters in the lineup. Today, three lefties in the starting lineup. And so, you know, I'm sure most left-handed starters in Major League Baseball are so used to facing right-handed batters of predominantly right-handed lineups, but don't get a whole lot of work against lefties.
Castro out of play. Glad you're with us today on this St. Patty's Day. We understand the Pirate employees are having a St. Patty's Day ice cream sundae watch party. The Hall of Fame Club. They're serving St. Patty's Day themed ice cream sundaes while watching the game. Might be watching on a big screen. You might be watching on a smaller device, maybe at work. As we have gone beyond the halfway point in the month of March. Game number 16 of the 31 game schedule. Drive to deep center field, and Starlin Castro shows off the power above the green batter's eye in dead center field. Tremendous home run for Castro, his second of the spring.
I have never seen that here before. That's the first. I have yet, in batting practice or otherwise, I've never seen a ball hit above the batter's eye in straightaway center field.
And watch it again. Nice work by Rob, the cameraman, above the wall there, and it clears the wall.
See the flags. There is some help. The wind, just a light breeze here.
Two home runs off of Locke. Ref Snyder, a right-handed batter over the right center field fence, and this one, Castro crushes one over the batter's eye in center.
We're watching here this inning, Locke missing with some pitches up in the zone. That's usually a sign of fatigue. The first time for Jeff to go into the fifth inning.
Beltran lined the ball to the wall and left in the first inning. Bounced out his last time up. So wherever you're watching, as we said, the big screen or maybe one of your devices, MLB.TV Premium. Everything you've come to expect and more with new low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game for all 30 teams live in True HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Ray Searage going to pay Locke a visit. That'll get somebody up in the bullpen. Locke approaching his pitch limit. Daniel Bard, one-time Red Sox ace, out of the bullpen. Now a minor league free agent with the Pirates. Locke probably his last hitter, Brian McCann. He's allowed the 4 runs, 5 hits, couple of home runs. He's walked a couple and has struck out a pair.
That was almost a fine play.
McCann to right center field. That's going to get down. 2 runners that are not blessed with great speed, and Beltran reaches third, McCann into second. For the first time we can recall, they have a batting screen in front of the coaches' benches here. Looking down at Clint Hurdle to see if he's going to make a move, but not just yet. Nick Leyva standing alongside that screen. Chase Headley has singled and flied out. Infield back with 1 out. And Locke really laboring here in the 5th. A line out to right to start the inning. Castro, the big home run, the walk, and a McCann double to the gap. And Marte is over. Makes the catch on the line drive, sacrifice fly. 5-2 Yankees. Brings up Dustin Ackley. Strike on Ackley. And popped him up. Chris Stewart. Tough catch. Stayed with it. And at the final out, the Yankees up 5-2.
Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All, and by Barrel Automotive. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. Let's go Bucks!
5-2, Yankees lead it. As we head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Everybody's Irish. Here is David Freese, his 3rd at bat as a DH. Struck out his first time up and singled to right field in the 3rd. David Freese signed as a free agent last week. Will begin the year as the Pirates' starting 3rd baseman. An unforgettable 2011 postseason, the MVP of the World Series at Game 6 with down to the last strike. Hit the triple off the wall in St. Louis to tie the game, then homered in the 11th to win it to force a Game 7. Freese strikes out against Severino. A couple of former Pirates there behind the Bucco dugout. Denny Nagel in the white cap and green shirt, and seated next to Mike Bilecki.
Yeah, I'm sure both of those guys got to be wondering what's going on. I mean, the facilities here are much different than when they were in the organization.
Mike Bilecki drafted by the Pirates in 1979, a first-round pick. Nagel acquired before the 1992 season. Spent a handful of years with the Pirates, then dealt to Atlanta. He and Bilecki were teammates with Atlanta. Nagel, a 20-game winner in 1997. Finished his career with the Colorado Rockies.
Bilecki in 79. Was that out of high school?
I believe so.
So he's mid-50s? Well, it has to be, at least.
And Clint Hurdle was the manager of the Colorado Rockies when Nagel pitched. Parts of 3 years there.
Bilecki doesn't look much different, nor does Denny.
No, really. Look out, Severino. Oh my goodness. That is maybe some luck of the Irish for Severino coming into play there.
Well, fortunately, it wasn't crushed. It didn't go off the barrel of Marte's bat. He got jammed a little bit, tied up a bit that slowed it down some, but still. And anytime there's a line drive headed right back up at the pitcher, especially around the head area, enough to make that man nervous.
Josh Harrison now with 2 outs and nobody on. The automotive great day from last season, September 13th. Bucks beat the Brewers 7-6 on this walk-off single by Josh Harrison. 5-run comeback. 22 players used, 7 relievers. Bullpen went 8 2/3 innings, allowed just 1 run on 7 hits. A great moment from last year. Jay Hay, the walk-off single against the Brewers. .97 from Severino. Still 2-2 on Jay Hay.
You mentioned McCutchen with the slow start last year. So did Josh Harrison. He struggled early part of last season as Melanson looks like he's going to pitch the 6th.
Third baseman Headley. Severino has a 1-2-3 inning. 5-2 New York. The Yankees lead on the UPMC scoreboard 5-2. Blue skies, green field. Buccos wearing the green unis. And the starters are heading to the clubhouse. One of the starters that DH today, David Freese, and with him, Robbie Itzmakowski.
Player interview, Greg, with David Freese, one of the newest, maybe the newest Pirate. How do you describe this? Wearing the Pirate P on your hat, obviously black and gold, but wearing the green today. What's it been like so far?
This is awesome. Playing against the Pirates for a few years before I became an Angel, I got to understand what this place was all about, and I admired it. And I'm happy this came together to be a part of this group.
David, when a player's a free agent, so many things come into play: location, family, city, that type of stuff. But what moment for you was a deciding factor? You said, wow, that's it, I'm going to the Pirates?
Yeah, going into the off season, you want to be an everyday guy. I felt like that I still had that in me, but the options just weren't there, and some closed up, and you got to kind of get together and reevaluate and try and put yourself in a good position. And I'm lucky that my agent and Neil started talking, and I got pretty excited about coming over here. First off, they win ball games, and they've known how to do it for a few years now, and that excited me.
It took a while. I think a lot of people were surprised you were without a job for as long as you were. What was that experience like, given the amount of success you had in some of the biggest moments in the history of baseball?
Yeah, I was all right with it, I think. It's obviously challenge yourself a little bit, but like I said, if there were 3 or 4 teams without a third baseman and they weren't calling, then I'd probably be having some sleepless nights. But I stayed patient, waited for a right opportunity to be with a good group that knew how to win, and here we are.
We'll talk about the product on the field now for you. 21 career innings at the first base position. What do you anticipate that might be like should you play there for the Pirates?
Yeah, I'm just going to get a lot of work in. Kevin Young's down here. I got Nick and Dean working with me over there the last couple of days, and we're starting to get in a groove with that. But I'm excited. I think you kind of feel like a little kid when you get pushed over to a new position and this and that. But I got to focus on third too, and kind of man that corner until Gong gets back. But whatever I got to do, I'm all on board.
You've been a part of some clubhouses that have been very tight. You've won World Series. A lot of people discuss how tight this team is. What's the experience been like integrating into the clubhouse with your new teammates?
Yeah, I get it. I see it. I think it starts from the top. I think you hear that a lot, but it's not always true. Here it is. You got the front office all the way down with Clint, and I've heard a lot of things about Clint from a lot of guys that have played with him, and the first week here, I'm so excited to play for him and be a part of this team. And the guys are great, man. They're hard-nosed guys. They know what it takes to win. They got to work, but they have a good time with it as well.
David, I don't know how much thought you've given it, but you're a St. Louis guy. You're the local hero out there. What do you anticipate it might be like, first of all, facing them open a day and then returning to St. Louis to play against them?
Well, first off, yeah, we're going to be facing the Cardinals right out of the gate, but, I'm a Pirate now. I got a lot of buddies over there all across that organization, still, and I love them to death, but, they're going to come at me just like we're going to come at them, and, going back to Bush, we can talk about that when we get there.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, David.
All right, thank you.
All right, Greg and John, our McDonald's player interview, David Freese.
And he becomes the third Freese to play for the Pirates. Of course, veteran Pirate fans remember brothers Gene and George Freese. And David said he gets asked every time he came to Pittsburgh, are you related? He says no, but certainly well aware of the Freese brothers. David Freese joins the Pirates at free agent contract, and thanks to Robbie, and thanks to David, that conversation, a one-out infield hit as Freese heads to that beautiful clubhouse. Autographs along the way. Mark Melanson follows Jeff Locke.
Mark, he looks like he's in mid-season form from the first time out. As you see, the leading 51 saves, more than anybody in baseball. 62 strikeouts to 14 walks. And I think anytime you see Mark pitch, it just seems like he has total command of everything he throws.
Carlos Corporon, fly ball to the new center fielder Willie Garcia. So the new alignment now for the Pirates. Jake Gobert is in left. Matt Joyce is in right. Pedro Florimon and Cole Figueroa on the left side. Adam Frazier, Jason Rogers on the right side. Chris Stewart remains in the ball game. We'll get another at bat. Locke, 5 innings, 5 runs on 6 hits. Walked a couple, struck out a pair, and gave up 2 home runs. Ben Gamble has walked and lined out. Austin Ani pinch running at first for Chris DeNorfia. And Ani will reach second on the wild pitch. Two outs in scoring position for Gamble.
And the big curveball from Mark Melancon and Chris Stewart. Maybe crossed up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Stewart not go down the block, try to pick it. Was it last year, at the beginning of the year last year, when everybody was worried about Mark Melancon because of the velocity was down and throwing 87, 88 early in the year. And that last cut fastball was at 89.
Another breaking ball in the dirt. Melancon with 51 saves last year to lead baseball. Pirates closer, making his 5th appearance. He'll look for 10 or 11 innings to be ready. Knows exactly what he has to do. Ray Searage, and behind him Mike LaValliere, Spanky, a guest instructor this month. Yeah, most assumed he would be dealt Melancon before the season began. But he will be there at the end of the bullpen once again. Tony Watson setting him up. Right side. Nice little pick there on the backhand by Adam Frazier. 5-2 New York. Tonight, starting at 6:30 with Penn's pregame presented by Heritage Valley Health System. And the first half of Bucks and Pucks, you see the Yankees leading the Bucks 5-2. And you would figure he would be pitching on St. Patty's Day. Eric O'Flaherty gets ready in the Pirates bullpen. Yuki Rojas, bullpen coach, watching closely. Here's Matt Joyce's first plate appearance. Matt Joyce in a battle for an extra outfield spot.
And Joyce off to a bit of a slow start this spring.
Two and two on Matt Joyce. Bunch of new Yankees are out there. New alignment. Mark Payton in center. Ani stays in the game in left. Cesar Puello in right field. Ronald Torreyes is at second. Pete Kozma at short. And a strike three is called on Matt Joyce. Pete Kozma, the teammate of David Freese in St. Louis. Trying to win a job in camp with the Yankees.
Who becomes the St. Louis Cardinals shortstop now that Peralta's out?
Jed Jerko was the last I saw.
That's what I heard.
They're going to stick with that, but
yeah,
I think between now and opening day, it's going to be. It would be hard to believe that the Cardinals don't get someone. Wouldn't it be something, though?
Yeah.
Pete Kozma winds up back in St. Louis. The light-hitting shortstop. First base unassisted.
You would think the Cardinals, the one thing that they find ways to score enough runs to win games. At least they have the last year, especially with so many injuries. But with that strong pitching staff, that the one thing that they probably desire is to be very strong, and especially up the middle defensively.
Pedro Florimon, his first at bat this afternoon. See his career. He's known for his glove over the years, hitting .300 this spring. But in 21 at bats, has struck out now 8 times. 1, 2, 3. 5-2 Yankees after 6. Top of the 7th inning here at McKechnie Field. The Pirates and the New York Yankees. Earlier we were talking about left-handed reliever possibilities for the Pirates. And these are stats from last season. Kyle Lobstein, it would seem, is still in line to be stretched out as a starter and maybe an option for AAA Indianapolis, the former Tiger, but they're the others. Robert Zarate, the Pirates were hopeful that he would have an opportunity, but he's been hurt this spring. And as we mentioned, the veteran lefty, if he can get back to his Atlanta Braves form, Eric O'Flaherty would be a great option. Shallow right, that's going to drop in for a hit for Pete Kozma. His numbers last season with the Oakland A's and New York Mets, but he was a top setup man in baseball not too long ago with the Atlanta Braves. Back-to-back years, 2011, 2012, ERAs under 2. Let's go downstairs to Robbie with Pirates closer Mark Melancon.
I am with the man. He of the 51 saves, the Pirates record last season. For our McDonald's player interview, Mark Melancon. How's camp going so far?
It's great. I'm just trying to get used to all this green.
Yeah, what's that like wearing it?
No, it's good. St. Patrick's Day, I didn't want to get pinched, so I decided to wear green.
All right, that's good. So it seems like you picked up where you left off last season here in spring training. How have things been able to go so smoothly for you on the mound so far?
Just taking it slowly. I'm not trying to jump the gun, and I can still use those 2 weeks.
All right. What do you hope to gain in those 2 weeks between now and opening day?
You know, it's a lot of it is just getting your arm ready, but you know, there's still working through with catchers and that stuff, and infielders, communication there. Just getting on the same track, really, all the way around.
When you look at last season, your name is etched in the Pirate record books with those 51 saves. Did you have a chance to think about it this winter and reflect on it? And if so, what came to mind? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's special. It's a neat feat, but that was last year. You know, you have to move on, and that'll be cool once I retire. But right now, it's move on to the next year and make sure that we take it day by day.
How about when you look at the makeup of this bullpen? Nicasio is new, Feliz is new. There's an open spot along with the 4 guys returning from last season. What do you make of the complexion of the bullpen, and how do you like your chances to build off of what you did last season, which is really hard to top?
Yeah, it's wow, it's pretty special. I mean, just on paper right now, and seeing these guys, and we got a lot of depth behind those guys you just named. So, man, I don't see why we should miss a beat at all.
How about when you look at yourself and Tony Watts as the quote-unquote 8th and 9th inning guys? What's it like for you just to be a part of that, as part of a duo that's really going to be known for a long time in the history of this franchise for being so successful?
Yeah, Tony's just been spectacular, and you know, I've been fortunate the whole time I've been here. Him and I have been back-to-back, and it's been really exciting, and such a good guy to root for, and you know, our whole staff has been good. So, quality.
Thank you, Mark. Nice to see you.
No problem. Thanks.
Greg and John, McDonald's player interview, Mark Melancon. And guess what? Not only that, he had his 3rd kid this offseason, new daughter, Ella.
Yeah, congratulations. As Mark Melancon caps off a great season and welcomes a new Melancon into the family. Steady as she goes, Mark Melancon. And Mary Catherine now with the 3 children, and you see the base hit delivered by Cesar Puello against O'Flaherty. Kozma stops at second. Austin Romine comes to the plate, his first at bat. Took over behind the plate for Brian McCann. And right under the glove of Pedro Florimon. That's a double play ball. Is turned into a run, and it is one of the oddest things about Florimon. We told you he was hitting 300 this spring. He's gotten to the big leagues on occasion over the years because of his glove, including with the Pirates last year. But his defense has really gone astray this spring.
Yeah, really, the two guys that are on the left side of the infield right now are two guys that are, known for defense and moving around, and Foreman's played some outfield, as has Figueroa, but they have struggled a bit this spring, both of them, not just Foreman, and even when we were talking to David Freese, when Robbie was talking to David Freese, there was a play where Figueroa kind of got caught in between and bobbled the ball. It was rolled a base hit. But still, those are plays when you are maybe a possibility to be the 25th man. The one thing you have to be is reliable defensively.
And that's a similar ball that he does turn into a double play. A second run scores to make it 7-2. Jonathan Diaz grounds to Florimon. 5-4-3 DP.
This time, it's always a little bit easier, I think, when you have to move. And that ground ball, the difference between that one and the one before, he had to move. He had to get moving. The feet had to start because the ball was hit to his left. The prior ball hit right at you. And Foreman, I think, probably more used to playing in the middle than at third. And at third, because you're so close, some guys who are used to playing the middle, the feet don't get started right away. And so that's kind of what I thought happened with Foreman on the ball that went through his legs, is he just kind of, the foot were just there. And then he kind of got caught in between with the hop, expected it to come up, and just got caught in between.
Line to right. Catch made by Joyce. Well, not all O'Flaherty's doing, but a 7-2 Yankees lead.
Pirates Spring Training Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by McDonald's All-Day Breakfast. Breakfast has been liberated. By Kenny Ross, just ask a neighbor. And by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Let's go Bucks!
7-2 Yankees head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Luis Severino doing a fine job. Masahiro Tanaka went 3. Now facing players that will begin the year in the minors, including Ed Easley. Catcher in the system. Easley pops this one up for the first out in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, that's no easy at bat. Easley not getting many at bats. In fact, I believe the fewest so far this spring, and to have to face a guy like Severino.
That's A.J. Schugel getting ready. Jason Rogers batting .222 in his first camp with the Bucks, 6 out of 22. Former Brewer, 98 and very late.
Trying to crank it up, shorten it up.
Severino has struck out 4. And that'll go as an infield hit, though. If Diaz fields it cleanly, he has got a shot at Rogers. A 1-out base hit.
Severino decided to stay hard on Rogers, climbed the ladder to get the second, swing and miss, and went down and away with the fastball, and Rogers able to shorten up enough to put it in play. Leg out a single.
Here's Willie Garcia. He has 3 hits in 21 Grapefruit League at bats. So 143 batting average. Prospect in the system, right fielder. (23 years old, Willie Garcia, 6'2", 215 pounds. Started at Altoona last year, promoted to AAA Indy. Left field loonies are here today, down from Pittsburgh. The Altoona Curve Boosters, part of the sellout crowd.
You know, it like kind of misted yesterday. Did you notice that? Were you out?
Yeah. How about the fog the last couple days?
Yeah, the fog has been odd, but the mist,
yeah,
that's the first sign of precipitation since I've been here.
You know, it's left field loonies when you see the captain. There he is, Ross Morgan, and his left field loonies. And again, it's worth noting, it's headline news. He's smiling. He's like Sangi, perpetual smiles.
Always smiling.
It's always a good day. There's Josh Bell. Bell 3 for 18 this spring. It's a 167 mark with 4 walks. See his numbers from last year. Switch hitting outfielder turned first baseman. And Severino has pitched 4 scoreless innings.
Sports for inning number 8. The Yankees lead 7-2 as we get a look at Matt Joyce playing right field for the Buccos. Joyce is hoping to have a better 2016 than 2015. Thus, he went to the Dominican Winter League to work on a couple things, and I asked him about that experience, and here's what he had to say.
Just trying a couple different things, going through the load and where the bat's going, this and that, and bat path, and a lot of different things that you can only do so much when you're taking front toss or you're working in the cage. So for me, coming off a rough year, I really wanted to go out there and prove that I still could go out there and play, and not only play but stand out.
And we're certainly happy that Matt Joyce is here in a Pirates uniform, Greg and John. When you look at his body of work in the history, the guy's a former All-Star and has had success in the big league level. He's also experienced some failure. And as Clint Hurdle would like to say, he's the perfect Pirate, right?
That's right. With the Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa, Florida native. A left-handed hitter. Could provide the Pirates some help off the bench. A.J. Schugel hits a shot knocked down by Florimon. Schugel delivers the pitch, and then Ronald Torres gets the hit.
That strong throwing arm from Florimon that thought because he kept it close. It was hit so hard, and he was able to keep it close enough to him that he'd be able to get that throw to Rogers in time, but just enough speed for the infield hit.
Austin Aune faces A.J. Schugel. Last season, Schugel in the Diamondbacks organization. Toward left, Jake Gobert. Aune flies to left. Another guy trying to win a job as a left-handed bat off the bench. Jake Gobert. On this St. Patrick's Day, 2016. A handful of players over the years actually born in Ireland made it to the big leagues. Most of those back in the late 19th century, early 20th century, including a handful of Pirates. Jimmy Archer played for the Pirates in 1918 from Dublin, Ireland. Patsy Donovan was an outfielder in the late 1800s with the Pirates. Queenstown, Ireland, south of County Cork. Paddy O'Connor from Kerry, Ireland, was a catcher for Pittsburgh in 1908 through 1910. Actually got an at-bat in the 1909 World Series. From Kerry, Ireland. Eddie Rodriguez at the plate, a 1-1 count. And Florimon again. Around the horn. Head to the bottom of the 8th. The Yanks up by 5.
authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
7-2 ball game. Yankees out in front. Grapefruit League action from McKechnie. Beautiful day for baseball. The Pirates and the Yankees. The Yankees will host the Pirates later this month. Tomorrow the Pirates will travel up to Clearwater. Can hear that game on Pirates.com. Pirates and Phillies. It'll be Charlie Morton on the mound for the Phils against Garrett Cole. Jake Gobert for the Pirates leads off and takes a strike from the new lefty pitcher Chasen Shreve. What a job by Luis Severino. 4 innings, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 hits.
And Shreve's done a pretty good job so far this spring. This will be his 5th appearance. He hasn't allowed a whole lot. You see his numbers from a year ago. 6-2, a 3.09 ERA. Strikeouts 64, innings 58 and a third.
One out. Been tough for Gobert, just 3 hits in 15 Grapefruit League at bats, and he fouls out. His first at bat this afternoon. Here's Adam Frazier, having a heck of a spring. He's opening up some eyes. 438 average, 7 out of 16 for Adam Frazier.
Yes, he's looked like he fits in, that's for sure. And even that play he made to end the top of the 6th inning, that was not an easy play. The ball was hit hard. He had to go a long way, and he made it look very easy.
And this is a guy who has not played above Double-A. It's this ball well the other way. And a fine catch made by Austin Ani.
Yeah, that's a nice play as well as Adam Frazier hitting it well the other way. Thought for a moment it might at least get to the wall with the wind blowing out. Maybe an opposite field homer, but good anticipation out there in left field. Making the catch before going into the fence.
Second at bat for Matt Joyce. Robbie talking about this one-time All-Star with the Tampa Bay Rays 5 years ago. He went to the Midsummer Classic. He was right in the middle of that Rays batting order. Hit 19 homers, drove in 75 that year. Time on the disabled list last year. Check swing, they appealed it, and third base umpire said he offered, so it's 1-2 now on Joyce. And a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th inning as Joyce goes down swinging. And we move along to the 9th.
All right, it's
Doing a little bit of the Irish jig.
Is that walkie? That looks
That
like
is
his,
Bob.
Oh, I thought that was it. Looked
it's
like
not
his
Bob?
slippers. Well, Bob would come to the park in his slippers, you know.
Wood has. Here's Corey Lupke. They're trying to get back to the big leagues. Last pitch for the Padres in 2012. Lupke has undergone 2 Tommy John surgeries. Opened the year in 2012. The Padres rotation made 5 starts. And in May 2012, underwent Tommy John surgery. Missed the rest of that year, rehabbing. Usually 12 to 18 months before you can return. And he was hoping to get back after the All-Star break in 2013, but was shut down in September of that year while rehabbing. And underwent his 2nd Tommy John surgery in February of 2014. That is determination.
Yeah, that's got to be rough too. You know, so often that those surgeries go so well, guys come back even stronger. But to not have it work and have to go through it twice would have to be tough. 10 and 12, a 3.25 career ERA. His first outing this spring.
Corey Lupke, 31 years old, Ohio native. Lupke played 3 years at Ohio State. Actually, the Pirates selected Lupke out of Marion High School in Marionstein, Ohio. In 2004, he did not sign. He went and pitched at Ohio State, and then the Rangers ended up selecting Lupke. Did not sign in 2006. The Padres finally got him in a 2007 draft, a supplemental first rounder that year. Corey Lupke. His wife Haley works in the area as a fitness instructor. Bounce left side, Florimon, 1, and they get 2 out of that. Let's go down to Robbie.
Well, guys, you talked about the San Diego Padres and Corey Lupke. He was teammates and roommates in the minor league with Clayton Richard, a guy who was here on a non-roster invite last season for the Buccos. He obviously ended up on the Cubs active roster and pitched in the playoffs. But Lupke told me that Clayton Richard was just the latest guys who have had good experiences with the Pirates. Now, he said it was good confirmation for him with what Ray Searage does and what the program is like here. Now, Corey said Richard relayed the honesty that he had while he was here. Always knew where you stood with the team, and that's all you can ask for. Now, GM Neil Huntington did say at the time, if you remember this, Greg, that Richard going to the Cubs, maybe this helps guys in the future come here to the Buccos. Even though he didn't pitch for us, it'll help us with future recommendation, and here it is. Here's living proof of it with Corey Lupke.
Yep, absolutely, Robbie. Remember Neil Huntington talking about that, giving players opportunities elsewhere if nothing is available at the big league level. Well, 93 as a lefty.
Reese here, always smiling, and I think that's another reason. It's not just the mechanics and the things that Ray can notice and maybe tweak, but it's the attitude, it's the friendliness, it's this, the caring, the smiles.
Did you see Juan Nicasio's quote? I thought that was really interesting. He said he's always smiling, he's always laughing, and when you pitch well, he's happy. You almost want to pitch well for him.
Yeah.
And Lupke, a scoreless 9th in his spring training debut. 7-2 Yanks.
The Kia Forte Forte is not only stylish, it also has a NHTSA overall 5-star crash safety rating. And now you can get behind the wheel of the Forte LX for only $119 a month. Plus, it's backed by an
McKechnie, 7-2 Yankees. Get on board with a new Pirates 12-pack plan fueled by Sheets. Lock in the best seats at PNC Park with a made-to-order plan or weekend plan. And plans include postseason pre-sale opportunities and free food from Sheets. Get your 12-pack today at pirates.com/12-pack. A big crowd, 8,485, a sellout. See the Pirates and the Yankees. Bucks will, as we said, be in Clearwater, Florida, tomorrow afternoon. That'll be available on pirates.com. Radio games, the next three. The Pirates back here at McKechnie against the Twins on Saturday. Tyler Olson. Numbers from last year, 11 appearances for the Yankees. Majority of the season in the minor leagues. Cole Figueroa. Off the pitcher's body. Torres, the second baseman, throws out Figueroa.
Oh, that's some bad luck there.
And Pirates spring training presented by McDonald's continues next week. Bucks host the Orioles here at McKechnie Field. Catch all the action Wednesday, starting at 1 o'clock on Root Sports. Nap time for some. That's on the outer concourse. And Larry Rothschild, the veteran pitching coach, and one of the Yankee trainers checking on Tyler Olson.
Not only bad luck for Figueroa, but bad luck for the lefty.
Pedro Florimon struck out as a left-handed hitter against Luis Severino. Now bats right-handed against Olson. Pirates open up the regular season on Sunday, April 3rd against the St. Louis Cardinals at PNC Park. First game on the Major League Baseball schedule. Francisco Liriano will get the call for Pittsburgh. Clint Hurdle's Bucks winning 98 games last year. Most believe the Pirates, Cubs, Cardinals will battle again in the Central. Florimon strikes out for a second time. The Parrot will be there opening day. Hope you're a part of the 2016 Buccos. Parrot is always there to entertain. Here's Ed Easley with 2 outs and nobody on. And Easley will drop a single into left.
There hasn't been much going on the bases for the Pirates since the 3rd inning, really. Just Easley with that base hit, just the 3rd base runner since the 3rd.
Jason Rogers, one of 8 Pirate hits. Andrew McCutchen homered 3rd time in his last 4 games. The Bucs an early lead. John Jaso, RBI single in the 2nd, made it a 2-1 Pirates advantage, but the Yankees scoring twice in the 4th, 2 more times in the 5th. And a 2 spot in the 7th. Popped up on the infield. And that's going to do it. Yankees win the ball game 7-2, and Rock, what storylines? McCutchen's home run looks locked in, Marte and those, but in terms of Jeff Locke making the start, went 5 innings, looked like he really tired toward the end, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. His command wasn't where we've seen it. Even in his last couple of starts, I thought he was a little better with his command, and yeah, I do think he may have tired a bit towards the end as the ball got up, but you know, he's getting stretched out. He's still working on things. The lineup, again, not a whole lot going on, but always tough against a guy like Severino. But, yeah, not much of a storyline other than, man, it's fun to watch Andrew McCutchen hit.
Don't forget Pens and the Hurricanes tonight. Second half of the doubleheader. Bucks and Pucks. Hope you enjoy the rest of your St. Patrick's Day as the Pirates hosted the Yankees in front of a sellout crowd today. Stay tuned for more here on Root Sports.